Hey everyone, welcome to another podcast of MLM Scores where we bring you the top voices from the world of network marketing. Today we have Renita, one of the great leader from LifeWave. Her journey has inspired people all around the world. Hey Renita, great to have you on the show.
Oh, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much for this. You guys are doing great work and amazing at just helping people to understand the amazing $600 billion giant of network marketing and MLM, right? Everybody needs to understand and learn about this business model. So thanks for having me today.
Thank you so much. So Renita, what inspired you to join LifeWave and how has it has been transformed your life so far?
Well, honestly, 3 years ago, I did not know anything about LifeWave. I've been a health coach for 25 years. So I used to be on the news. I was the NBC health and fitness expert. So I had my own segment on TV for
Wow.
about 8.5 years here in the United States. I'm passionate. I'm obsessed with people being well and getting healthy. I just love that.
Mhm.
I really am just an advocate for natural health and healing. So I've always been an advocate for using alternative solutions for your health, right? Because I feel like the medical juggernaut is real and we need it sometimes for crisis care, but for real long term health and healing,
Mhm.
we need natural alternatives. And now we know there's been this shifting from the allopathic model of healthcare over to the regenerative
Mhm.
healthcare model, right? The regenerative medicine. And so when I got involved with LifeWave, I actually was called up by a friend of mine who was in Canada. She was a nurse in
Okay.
Canada. And she called me up one day just to simply ask, what I knew about phototherapy and if I had ever heard of this patch.
Mhm.
And at that moment, I said, nope, I know a lot about phototherapy. I believe in the sun, right?
Yeah.
I know about infrared light and infrared heat and infrared saunas. I said, but I don't know of the patch. And
Right.
she said, well, my neighbor lady with Parkinson's had downright miracles. She
Wow.
said, I want to, I know your mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's. I'd like to just gift you some patches for your mother to try because of my neighbor lady with these miracles. And I said, okay, you had me at miracle, I believe. And she sent me some patches in a baggie.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was LifeWave. I didn't know
Yeah.
it was activating a particular peptide that regenerates and, restores the body in that moment. But I trusted her. And so she sent them. We started patching my mom, and it was honestly on the 11th day of my mom wearing the LifeWave X39 patch that she was walking without the walker. She was making a breakfast again for us. She hadn't cooked in 2.5 years.
Wow.
And she was jovial. I mean, it was really remarkable seeing her use a walker every morning at 8:30 a.m. for 2.5 years, and then showing up one day and she's not using the walker, right?
Wow.
And that was kind of the glimpse that God gave us, like, okay, this is a solution. This is light. This is hope, right? And
Right.
so when I saw that, my dad was sitting at the kitchen table that day. And actually, if I can, I'd love to share a picture of my mom and dad so you can see
Of course.
this, who I'm talking about. Sometimes that helps people to understand better when you share. But this is this picture right here is my mom.
Uh-huh.
And so her name is Pearl. And so again, on the 11th day after wearing the technology, she was smiling again, walking again. Her penmanship came back, her voice came back. She had gone all the way down to 97 pounds with Parkinson's after
Yeah.
9 years. And when she got on the patch, she went all the way back up to 120 pounds. She got
Wow.
some muscle back and the bone density. So that's kind of how we started. And then honestly, my dad was our next miracle we see there. You can see that on there. The picture of his legs. It's kind of a gross picture. I apologize, but he actually had those oozing goozing legs for about
Mm.
6 months. And we had been doctoring everywhere. And so that morning, when my mom was walking across the kitchen,
Yeah.
normally,
Yeah.
happily, I said, Dad, can we try a patch on you? And my dad said, I thought the patch was for Parkinson's. I said, I have no idea what it's for. I just can't even believe my eyes that mom is walking across the kitchen making breakfast, you know?
Wow.
And so we put a patch on my dad, and my dad was a one patch wonder. So the picture on the right was actually 24 hours later. I came back the next morning and I
Mhm.
opened the front door and his little tiny chicken legs were back. You can see
Oh
him
my
there.
God. Yeah.
And I said, wow, 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 like this is remarkable. And my dad looked at me and he said, it looks like that little sticker worked. Where can I get some more stickers? So,
Wow,
so
that is
honestly,
amazing.
the reason we started it was just, I mean, really just this love and compassion I had for my aging parents to help them feel better and age well. And
Wow.
now we know the technology is for everyone. It's not just for, older people with bad skin and diseases, right? It's for athletes. And we've got, teenagers and people in their 20s rocking this business opportunity. And so a lot of people are taking back their power with light. I love it. So that's kind of how we got started.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So I love that your parents' story. That's inspiring. So
Yeah.
what?
I mean,
Yeah,
I always say if we wouldn't have had that, I don't know if we would have been doing LifeWave because I had been, being in network marketing, I've been in the industry now for about 16, 17 years. You get approached with a lot of different things.
yeah,
And nothing was that, mesmerizing to me that I wanted to stop and entertain it. But I feel like because I had that experience with mom and dad, there was like no denying it.
right.
Like it was almost like I had to share. It was too great not to share in that
Wow.
moment, right?
I totally
And so,
agree. So that's why the live wave is the number one opportunity nowadays because the patches works for everyone, I think.
yeah, it really does. I mean, everybody has stem cells in the body, and there's two things that really degrade our stem cells. Number one is inflammation, which so many people have chronic inflammation everywhere. And the second thing that really depletes our stem cells is the aging process.
Right.
So most people don't realize by age 30, which is young, you've got a
Right.
60% reduction of stem cell activity.
Right.
And so that's why the technology is so amazing for everybody, because when they put it on, it's not that the patch heals you. All the patch does is awaken that natural GHK copper peptide within. And
Right.
that peptide is literally known as the holy grail of anti-aging. So it just like turns on the lights in the house. Like my dad's legs, we had been doctoring at 9 different types of doctors in 6 months. The best hospital in the world I had taken him to no avail.
Right.
And I mean, he was taking drugs, he was taking nutraceuticals, nothing touched those legs. And the
Right.
moment we just put that patch on, it was literally like a reset switch for him.
Wow.
So I feel like so many people need that.
I agree with you. So what's your favorite live wave patch and what personal results have you experienced with it?
Oh, I love all of them. There's 11 patches. X39 for sure is the hero product. That is the patch that took the company from 30 million a year all the way up to 600 million a year, right? We're
That's
on
right.
our way right now to $1 billion. But X39 really changed the game because, it took David Schmidt 10 years and $4.5 million of research to patent that technology. And most people don't understand patents. Like with David, he's a genius. He's a humble genius. The guy is amazing. And I love that he loves God and he gives honor to God. He's very much inspired with
Right.
these technologies that he's creating, which I think that in the marketplace, especially in network marketing, is unique because
Yeah.
a lot of companies have white labeled products. And I mean, some of them are great, some of them are not so great, right?
Right.
With this technology, it's literally like his baby. He was making these patches on his kitchen table for the Navy SEALs 21 years ago, right?
Wow.
So I feel because of the inspired nature of the patch and the technology, I mean, there's nearly 300 patents in regenerative medicine that David Schmidt holds. So
Right.
this guy is a genius in the world of regeneration and anti-aging, right? So when he came out with the X39, again, you don't just get a patent. It
Right.
was 10 years and $4.5 million of, they research, they prove the patent. They have to scientifically validate that
Right.
patent. And so when he got that patent for X39, it really changed the entire game of the entire company because they were doing very, very well. But in that moment, now they were in regenerative medicine where they were really helping people to, as we know, the patch has been clinically proven to increase the GHK copper peptide in the body. And that peptide you could go get it injected, but a lot of people, 80% of the population hates needles. So they don't
Right.
want the injection, right? And it's expensive. Needle injections are expensive, whether it's stem cells or, peptides, they're all expensive.
Right.
And so the fact that we can have an affordable technology like X39, like a little tiny patch. I mean, I always tell people, okay, look at how easy this is. You just take off the back of the sticker. This is why
Wow.
anybody can do it. You take it off and you can put it anywhere. A lot of people put it on the base of their neck or under their belly button, but you can put it even where it hurts. Just
Wow.
put it right where it hurts. And so I think definitely my favorite patch is X39. What it did for me, honestly, in all honesty, we didn't know about the other patches. I
Right.
only learned about the patches after I was probably in the business for 5 weeks. Can you imagine? And
Right.
we took the business all the way to the top rank in 66 days. In
Wow.
66 days, we were at the top rank. And I only learned about some of the other patches, well, about 5 weeks in. We were about 5 weeks in is when I learned about some of the other patches. But so we only started on X39. That's
Wow.
all my dad wore, my mom wore, I wore, my son Bo wore, my husband wore. So the X39, the biggest thing it did for me is I was having difficulty sleeping. I was not a good sleeper. I don't have
Okay.
any diseases. I feel excellent, like all
Oh,
the time. I'm super
yeah.
athletic. I eat healthy. But I was not a good sleeper. So I would go to bed sometimes at 11 and I'd be up at 2 a.m. for the day, like most
Okay.
days. It was crazy. And I did that for about 9 months, just not at all being able to sleep. And so the first night I put the patch on, nothing happened. I said to my husband, well, it might take a while. I have not been sleeping for a while. Second night, nothing happened. Third night, I actually said to him, okay, it might take a long while. I don't know. Well, that night I went to bed the third night and I woke up the next morning and it wasn't 2 a.m. It was 5:30. There was lights coming in my bedroom
That
from
sounds good.
from the sun rising. Yeah. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like that's the longest I've slept in 9 months. And so I thought, well, I'm not going to get too loud on social media because it was probably a fluke.
That's good.
And so I went to bed that next night and I woke up the next morning at 8 a.m.
Wow.
And so that would have been the fifth day I was on the patch. And so for me, if you know this, if you've not been sleeping and you sleep, it's like a
Right.
miracle
It's a
because you
miracle.
feel, I mean, it's just amazing what you can accomplish when you're well rested. So for me, it was sleep. I tell you what, this is a really great part to share. I recently had a test done where they tested my real age to tell me, they hooked all these electrodes to my body, like all the
Mhm.
different organ systems, and then they did blood, urine, stool, saliva, all this stuff. And I'm going to be 49, and I came back on my test that I was 32. And
Wow.
my doctor actually said to me, Renita, you're an anomaly. Nobody comes back younger. Everybody has so much oxidative damage from stress and poor nutrition and lifestyle that they all come back older. She said, so you came back,
Younger.
16 years younger.
Younger.
So
Wow.
I said to my husband, now you've got this young woman. I mean, I'm like 32 over here. I'm aging in reverse. And so I call him Scotty the hottie. And so I said, Scott, you got to go get your test done. And he went and had his test done. So he came back last week and he said, he came in the house. He goes, well, I'm not as young as you. I said, I know. I said, how old are you? And he's 51. His
Uh-huh.
real age is 51. But he said, I came back at 42. I
Wow.
said, okay, so you're not 32 like me, but you still are younger than you're 51.
Right.
So our doctor,
Mhm.
after she did that test on us both, she signed up for LifeWave with the premium pack because
Wow.
she's like, you guys both are coming back, 10, 16 years
Yes,
younger.
younger.
And
Wow.
everybody that I measure, typically that never ever happens.
Right.
So, I mean, just that's a testimony in of itself. I feel like I really am aging in reverse. So it's true.
It's true, right? Yeah. You look I mean, you don't look like you are 49. You look like 20, 32. I think that
Come on,
patches
come
work.
on,
Yeah.
let's go.
So how
I
do
know they
you
do.
so how do you share LifeWave opportunity with new people who has never heard of it before?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Thank you.
I'm going to say that we have the most people that we've ever had in all of our years of doing networking. We have the most people earning the most amount of money across the board. You know how in network marketing, sometimes there's a couple, you know, show ponies that make all the money.
Right.
Over here in LifeWave, it's like anybody who's putting their hand to this thing is having tremendous success. And so we are part of the fastest growing team in all of LifeWave. It's called
Right.
This Is It Team. And that team is the number one team in the world.
Mhm.
And to give you a little example of how well it's working, when I started LifeWave 3 years ago, I went to the very first convention and there was about 2,000 people there. And I
Okay.
would say that 80% of them were medical doctors or had some type of clinic, right? Where they were doing, you know, aesthetics or, you know, anti-aging of some way, shape, or form. That
Right.
was 3 years ago. We're about to have a convention next weekend with 10,000 people. So
Okay.
what happened is we came in, my sponsor came in, and myself and a few others came in that love networking, that love network marketing. Like we're, you know, we love this industry. We love to share. And so what we did is when they came in, there was no duplicatable system for people in LifeWave to necessarily follow to build,
Right.
right? You know, if you're relying on corporate, you're not going to get very far. It has to be moved by the field, right? And
That's right.
so my sponsors came in and they created This Is It team. And that team is the number one growing team in all of the world in all network marketing. And so before we came in, there was maybe about 40 people that were the top rank called SPD.
Okay.
And just with This Is It team, just with our team alone that just came in,
Yeah.
they're nearing 300 SPDs
Wow.
in 3 years. So they really came in and taught that duplicatable system. So for somebody who's never done network marketing, the real thing you need to do is plug into the system. That's
That's
it.
right.
Because we've got people that are, you know, my 18-year-old son is plugged into the system and you should see how he's growing this thing and the amount he's earning. It's wild. He's
Content.
18. You
It's
know, so
content.
we have people that are in their 90s that have
Right.
never done this business model before. I just interviewed a lady, she was actually 81 and she said she's earning more money than she's ever earned in her entire life
Yeah.
at 81. And it's because they've plugged into the duplicatable system. So we've got a website called thisisitinfo.com, and that's all the health testimonies and the doctors talking about it and the patents. So This Is It info is great for just educating yourself about the technology. And then we have thisisitteam.com that is like the duplicatable franchise. And
Right.
so I think the real solution for people that are trying to win a network marketing, you might have the best product in the world, but if it's not a duplicatable system
Right.
to get it to the masses, no one's making any money, right?
That's
So
right.
for us over here, we happen to have the number one technology in the world with the number one innovator in all direct sales in the world with David Schmidt. He's innovator of the year for DSN,
Yeah.
right? We got the Bravo Award 24 and 25 with 3,000% growth. And we have the number one team in the world. I mean, this is, if there's ever been a perfect storm,
Yeah.
we are part of it. So
Mm.
we're so excited that so many people that have never maybe earned a lot in network marketing are earning a lot here. And that is just because they're plugging into the system and the technology really sells itself. When people wear it, they feel different and they never want to take it off.
Wow.
So it's
That's amazing.
awesome. Yeah.
So, what has been the biggest breakthrough or success moment in your live web journey? Just one moment.
Um, one moment.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, the moment was probably when I attended that first convention and
Mm-hmm.
there was only 2,000 people there.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest with you, there was a speaker, a keynote speaker, and they asked for 4 volunteers to come on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I, of course, raised my hand, ran to the front, right?
Right.
I'm an opportunist,
Yeah.
right? I'm
I
running to the
can see
front.
that. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And so I hopped on the stage, and then this woman, who's kind of a world-renowned author, she proceeded to muscle test everybody. So she had them say one thing that was going to happen. So I said, I'm going to be SPD in 15 days. And
Okay.
at that time, SPD was 200,000 points, and I was only at 140,000 points. So I had to pull out 60,000
Wow.
points in 2 weeks, which if you know network marketing, I mean, that's a large number,
Yeah.
almost unachievable, except we achieved it. So, but when she muscle tested me, I muscle tested weak in front of these 2,000 people. She goes, oh, you're not gonna do it. And then she muscle tested the others and they tested weak. And then she came back to me and she said to me, tell me everything that LifeWave has done for you. I said, it's changed my mother. It's changed my father. It's been a total blessing to my health and my sleep. And I just started rattling off all of the goodness that
Right.
had happened, the gratefulness of what I had my hands on. And she said, now muscle test with me again. And she held my finger like this. And I said, I'm going to be SPD in 15 days. And she could have done a pull up on my finger. It was not busting. And she goes, you will be.
You
In
will.
that moment, something just flipped in me. I went home, and in 15 days to the day, we
Wow.
were SPD. So it was like, you know, it was almost like that belief. When you have that belief switch, it's like it's a frequency, it's an energy, right?
Yeah.
And that energy just attracts. It is a very much an attraction abundance energy
Right.
that you're giving off. So yeah, that was kind of a paradigm thing for me. And then from there, in all honesty, our business has never ever backslid. Can you imagine? It's only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Your story is totally inspiring. You are an inspiration. Loved it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. So, what advice would you give to someone who is just, getting started with LifeWave today?
I would say plug into the system. I'd say get started as quickly as possible because success loves speed.
I agree.
And this train is a fast moving bullet train. So you got to get on board right now. I'd say make sure you have an amazing sponsor. Your sponsor is your mentor. Like I love to sponsor people because I know that they are going to get the best sponsor in the world because I love to work. I love to share. I love to collaborate. I love to, make sure that people are reaching their goals. My husband and I work the business together. So I always say it's a 2-for-1 deal. He's more analytical. He was a financial planner for over, 25 years. So he's very numerical. And the comp plan, he's a comp plan genius. And then of course with me, my passion's health. Like I'm obsessed with health. So you really have the best of both worlds, aligning with us. I would say get started as quickly as possible and then make sure that you're plugged into our team system. This is it, team.com. Because when you plug into that system, the success is inevitable. It's going to happen if you're doing the daily activity. But it is very nice when you join in network marketing to sign up with somebody who's been a place that you want to go.
Right, right.
Right. Sometimes we just sign up with anybody and it's this huge learning curve, right? So sometimes if you align and, just completely link arms with somebody who's, we ran it to the top in 66 days. Now we've got people on our team doing it in 14. So once we've been there once you've seen the mountaintop, you can say, okay, here's how you can do it just better, faster, more efficient, right? And so, yeah, I'd say get started quickly, plug into the system and let's rock and roll and change some lives. I mean, there's a goal out right now where David Schmidt wants to be in 1 billion homes globally.
Wow.
So this is a big, audacious goal. And we just know that we're a huge part of that. We see what's happening. We're available in 75 countries around the world. So, some of the offices in these countries, let me give you an example. The
Right.
United States headquarters just opened last October. Okay,
Okay.
so we're 1 year old basically with
Okay.
our global headquarters down in Draper, Utah. We're the company's 21 years old. It's a 21-year-old debt-free company, first and
Right.
foremost, right?
Right.
The products are made in the United States and in Ireland, right? We don't have ever have any supply chain issues, ever, right? And when you look at that, it took 20 years for David Schmidt to open this incredible. By the way, if you've not been at World Headquarters and you sign up with our team, Scott and I will make sure that you get to World Headquarters. Everybody needs to get to World Headquarters. We have taken so many of our leaders out to World Headquarters. It is like the most beautiful, inspirational thing you've ever seen in your life. If you bring anybody to headquarters, they will be part of LifeWave. Our boys went along with us to LifeWave headquarters. My son Truett, he's 18. He's a big old muscle guy, huge muscles, stacked, jacked, sharing the patches. He's
Right.
bawling. He's bawling, crying at
Wow.
headquarters, saying, Mom, I can't stop getting the chills. I keep getting the goosebumps the whole time I'm here. This is extraordinary. So when
Wow.
you have an 18-year-old that's feeling that, right,
Right.
that energy that's changing. So yeah, we're so fired up. I feel like we're just getting started, but another headquarters just opened over in, the Asian market, the Philippines. They literally just launched like a month ago.
Hello.
So when you're seeing all these markets that are just now establishing the headquarters in these countries,
Right.
it's like right now, like this is like they're not like 15, 17 years old. Like last month, last week type deal. They're opening
Right.
these headquarters. So that tells you the timing for LifeWave is now. It's
Now,
right now. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sold out. So, guys, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and join under Renita. Your life is
Yeah.
gonna change. You will
I
be,
love it.
yeah,
I want to show you one more thing. I want to
yeah, yeah,
screen share with you for a second because I want to show you my family, and then I
yeah.
want to show you what happened recently at This Is It event. And you're not going to believe this. So I'm going to show you first and foremost my family because we're all involved in this. This is not just a Renita thing. You know what I mean? This is a family thing. It's generational health and wealth. David Schmidt has talked about generational health and wealth. So again, this is
Wow.
our family. Bo is 25. He's the top rank with LifeWave. It took him about 14 months to reach that. So he's recruiting tons of young leaders.
Wow.
Amazing. This is true at our 18-year-old. This is the one that was crying at headquarters and
Right.
is so inspired. This kid is so amazing and emotional and inspired. And he's signing up all the guys at the gym because they're looking at this kid and he's bench pressing 320 pounds and they're like,
Wow.
what are you doing? And he's like, put on a patch. It's going to help your performance. And then Rocco is our 17-year-old. He's an amazing, amazing young man. And is so excited to launch his business because of course you got to be 18 to launch with LifeWave, right? So he's 17, so he's chomping at the bit right now. He's helping out all of us to build and to share. But the real picture I wanted to show you is at this recent event that we had, and it was with let me grab it here. It was with
Yeah.
This Is It team. They have these different conventions, and we had a recent one that was down in Orlando, of course. We have the corporate event coming up in Anaheim just in 2 weeks from now. But I want to show you this amazing picture of our son, Bo, because our son, Bo, is, we were at this event and our son, Bo, received this award. They call it the $1 million earners,
Wow.
right? So what they do is they look at people that have earned at least $1 million in LifeWave. And again, we're not making any income claims because listen, you know this, the only way that network marketing really, really works is if you work it. We know this, right? You've got to work the business for it to be successful, for it to work, and for you to achieve your goals. But I want to show you this picture of our son, Bo, because he literally got awarded he got awarded to the $1 million club. The $1 million club is what it's called. And so he received one of these $1 million belts. And at first, when they were giving it away, I'll tell you what, we have a lot of fun with this, but it's a belt that looks like a remember WWF wrestling?
Yeah,
Maybe you're
yeah,
too
yeah.
young for that. No, you remember. Okay. The WWF wrestling, they always would give out these belts that
Yes.
they literally look like, WW, what did they call it? Oh, my son is telling me it's
WWE.
WWE mom.
Yes.
Okay, I WWF. I don't know what that is. Okay, but anyway, so our son Bo, so we received this. Right? We got this award. My husband and I. They named us along with some other great leaders. But I'm going to tell you, there is something that happens when they announce your child. Okay, so and here it is. When they announce your child winning this award, it
Yes.
I think I was just in shock. And I
Wow.
had this vision. I actually had this vision of
Wow.
generations of wealth being created. So I was never raised in a healthy family. I was never raised in a wealthy family. But then I made the decision from me on down, it's going to be health, 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 wealth, 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 right? And so to see my 25-year-old come up and get this belt, I mean,
Wow.
I was in tears for him. And God really gave me this vision that this is a generational wealth opportunity. So not only did in my mind, I saw Bo walking across with his big belt,
Wow.
I saw Truett and Rocco, my other two boys. I had this vision. I believe it was a divine vision that I saw them walking across the stage as well. So I wanted to show you this picture because as a parent,
Okay.
it's one thing for us to have success and to create millions. It's a whole nother thing when you're teaching and guiding and seeing that gift happen with your children. That's what I
Correct.
want to say. So generational health and wealth right over here at LifeWave. Love it.
Amazing. Your family is amazing. You have done an amazing job.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
I think the
We're still
people,
working on it.
yeah, the people who will watch this podcast should definitely join under you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Give me a call. Do they want my phone number? Text me 701 400 5277. I'm happy to help.
All
Let's
right.
go.
I
Step
will
to the
put your
top.
phone number here in the podcast and also put your link to sign up so they can directly sign up with you or they can get in touch with you with any questions.
Awesome. I appreciate you so much and for taking time with me today. You're a total blessing. Keep up the amazing work that you're doing around the globe.
Thank you so much, Renita. Have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.
God bless everybody.